Bet Sportsbook has the Rockets as an underdog, which you might expect given all the things Stephen A. just said. They're plus 150 to win the series as the 2 seed. Lakers, they are a heavy favorite to advance over Minnesota. And the Red Hot Clippers, they're a slight favorite over the 4 seed Denver after winning their last 8 games of the season. So we're going to see Minnesota and Los Angeles on ABC this weekend at 8:30 Eastern. So the Wolves, we know they have Ant-Man, right? He's going to need some help. The Lakers have LeBron and Luka. What determines this series?
Well, listen, Minnesota's going to have to really up their game on both ends of the floor. Defensively, they're going to have to be better than solid. They're going to have to be elite. Luka has had his way with them. We all know what he did against them in the Western Conference Finals, and that was without LeBron James as a teammate. Now you've got LeBron James, and the way LeBron James has been playing, he's been playing for a few of these months like an MVP candidate for crying out loud. So when you look at it from that standpoint, the Lakers are definitely formidable. We understand this, and Minnesota's going to have their work cut out for them. What I'm interested in seeing, Hannah, is this. Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, is a superstar in this game. There are moments where he has looked Jordan-esque. He's improved his three-point shooting. He can get to the hole at will, and he can elevate against anybody. And in a game of this magnitude, he's going to be required, or a series of this magnitude, he's going to be required to be a superstar. He can't just show up and be a star. He can't just show up and be a little bit better than average. In order for Minnesota to win this series, he is going to have to cement himself on an elevated level. We already know how terrific he is, but it's going to be called upon for him to give a little bit something more in order to knock off both Luka and LeBron. I don't think he can do it, but I think he can do enough to stretch this series to 6 or 7 games. I think he'll average over 30. I just don't know if anybody's going to help him for offensively.
Yeah, like what about Julius Randle? Wouldn't that be nice if he would step up in the playoffs? Yes.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I believe in him, though, but it would be nice.
I know. Okay. So we're talking former Knicks.
April 22nd, only on Disney+.
Last night, Steph Curry scored 37 points. Jimmy Butler delivered his best game for Golden State with 38 to lift the Warriors past Memphis 121. First for Golden State in 4 play-in games. They secure the 7th seed and a date with the 2nd-seeded Houston Rockets. And here is the tale of the tape. Golden State is the 5th oldest team in the league at an average age of just over 29. You can see the Rockets are a young team, just over 25. And you look at the disparity in playoff games weighted by playing time. Warriors have twice as much as their Rockets counterparts. And we are thrilled to have Stephen A. with us from the Countdown set. And Stephen A., this is just that classic matchup, age and experience versus youth and inexperience. The Rockets are a relentless, high-energy team. How do you see this going?
Well, I think it's going to be tough. I think it'll be a 7-game series. I mean, I think they've got the talent. They've got the defensive prowess. They certainly have size. They have the ability to rebound the ball far more effectively than Golden State. And I think they're exceptionally well coached by one of the best coaches in basketball in Ime Udoka. What we're going to find out is whether or not they have a closer. We know that Fred VanVleet is a champion. We know this. But outside from him, who do you have? Is Jalen Green ready to take the bull by the horn and really cement himself as the franchise face for the Houston Rockets? We got to take that into consideration as well. Amen Thompson. Remember, last time Steph Curry saw him, Steph Curry shot 1 for 10 from the field because that young kid is such an elite defender, and he really goes after you. So they've got some promising prospects. Make no mistake about it. The Houston Rockets are a legitimate threat. But the baby-faced assassin that is Steph Curry is who he is. Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Buckets. This is the playoffs. He didn't shoot more than 17 times in the 29 regular season games he played for the Golden State Warriors before Sunday against the Clippers. That game and last night's game, he shot more than 20 times, going to the free throw line 27 times. So we know what Jimmy Buckets brings to the table, no doubt about that. Experience, championship pedigree, and Steph Curry, etc. That should rule the day, but it will take a 7-game series, as far as I'm concerned, to pull it off, because it's that challenging.
Yeah, I would say they'd have to win on the road. Obviously, the Rockets have home court. They're 6th in scoring defense, opponents' field goal percentage. It's good to have the Rockets playing meaningful things in the playoffs. Nonetheless, though, ESPN.
Well, I'm loving this. I mean, when you know Tyler Hero walks into an arena looking like Vanilla Ice, 220 for 2025. I mean, you know that's something you got to stand up and pay attention to. But that brother can ball when you can dress. When you can ball like that, you can dress like that. Bam Adebayo, a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. We got to see what he's going to bring to the table. 10-game losing streak a few weeks ago, won 8 of their last 12 against the Chicago team that's been rolling, winning 15 of their last 20. Kobe White, since Zach LaVine has been gone, leading the team and scoring 23 a game. I like this. I like this. And, of course, AD and Sack against Sack later. We don't mind that either.
You know what's interesting? First of all, I love the play-in. I think it's fantastic. It just adds a whole...
Can you match Stephen A's energy in that?
No, I can't. Why would you say that?
Why would I say that?
Do you want to deal with that? Do you want me to be the same way as that? No, I do love the play-in, but you know what I'm surprised by? That the Heat and the Mavericks, their season, one of those seasons could end tonight. I always think the Heat are going to be better. I don't know if I justify it or not. But the Mavericks coming off of finals, and I know we're going to talk about them later. The fact that their season could be over tonight, coming off of finals, and then your Heat. I always expect the Heat to be deep in the playoffs.
We're right at home.
No, you're not. This is not. This is 9-10.
We thrive in these moments.
You don't want to be in the 9-10. Okay, fine. You might
thrive in these moments.
There's something about the Miami Heat that always, to Udonis's point, they find themselves in the play-in, and then they're an 8th seed that can make it all the way to the NBA Finals. And if last night was any indication, Stephen A., not only could we be due for some drama, we also could have some signature performances here. Case in point, the Butler and the Chef, Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, last night in a win or have one more chance game, but essentially win or go home in their minds here in the Bay Area as they took.
You're watching Curry play the ball movement. He does it when no one's watching, and that's a greatness. Because it's one thing to do it when you're on national TV and there's a crowd of 20,000 people. It's another thing to do it when there's no one in the gym and you're going full speed. That's, I think, what makes him unique.
And then you add Jimmy Butler into the mix, and they're finding their groove at the exact right moment of the season. They combined for 75 points last night, their second most in a game as teammates. That comes after they each had at least 30 points versus the Clippers on Sunday. And we've watched Steph for years. You've been in the building for countless of these Steph Curry performances, but he's doing it now at 37 years old. Yeah. What stands out to you there? That
he's doing it at 37 years old.
Yes.
I mean, he's not to discredit LeBron or Harden or some of these guys the way they play. They move much more efficiently, right? I still always view Curry as a lightweight in a heavyweight fight. Not his fault. But he's got to jab and stick and move. He can't lean on you. And the fact that he's doing it, the way he's still doing it, as effective he is, Malika, is a testament to work ethic.
Not only has he raised the level of his play, but I think the guys around him, their basketball IQ has to be great to know that he's going to come around on a handoff. If you're in a position where you're uncomfortable, Steph is going to come save you, and you have to be looking for him at all times. The ball finds energy, and he brings energy every single step of the way.
The thing that I marvel about, first of all, you bring up the passing because it doesn't matter who it is. It's like, you know how you got some guys that maybe I can make the shot, maybe I can make the shot. No one does that when they're on the court with Steph. They're like, where is he?
Yeah.
Here. Because they know this brother is that special. But let's give some love to Jimmy Buckets in this regard. First 29 games as a Warrior, he never takes more than 17 shots. You got to battle with the Clippers for the play-in, and then you got the play-in game last night against Memphis. He shoots more than 20 shots both games. Gets to the free throw line 27 times. Now, this is the thing, and I'm like, I keep telling this to folks. When you can do that, you don't have to call timeouts as much. You get a break because this brother's getting to the free throw line. You can literally, you could be Steve Kerr. You go like this, get to the line.
You're right.
Because you need a break. It's great.
Tell me, give me some, you play with this guy. I'm loving watching him. You know, this whole playoff Jimmy thing, he's delivering.
One of the most intelligent basketball players that I've ever played against. And I had this conversation with Dwayne Wade last night, and I told him to his face, you are talented as hell. LeBron has been talented as hell, but Jimmy's way smarter than y'all. He is very smart. He is an extremely smart basketball player. I mean, to the point where I used to go home after practice and just think about ways to stop him because of the way he scored on me that night. Jimmy just brings it in those moments. That's when he is alive. That's when he is most alive. He is not afraid of the moment. He loves competition. And when the chips are stacked against him, that's when you get the best Jimmy Butler.
And with Jimmy Butler added to this roster, Draymond Green, the Warriors now, though, with this win, Stephen A., they get a date with the Houston Rockets.
Yes.
They are only the second, 7th seed to have, over the last 30 seasons, been favored over the number 2 seed Houston Rockets. Should they be?
I think they should be because of the experience of Steph Curry along with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. We can't ignore Draymond Green. He, by the way, he was my vote for the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm just putting it out there right now. I just think that he's been that big time. But when you look at what Steph and Jimmy bring to the table, you're looking at Houston. You can defend. You can definitely rebound. All of that's true. but can you make a basket when you need to? That's the challenge.
Right.
And against Golden State, I can't give them that.
It's the Houston half-court offense. Their defense, by the way, Ime Udoka's tremendous job with this team. But when you look at the Warriors and you say they have maybe the 2-3 best players in the series, that's a problem for Houston. But I don't count Houston. I mean, Houston's a heck of a team. They deserve to be the 2 seed.
I smell 7-game series.
I watched that game last night, and I watched Golden State put the ball in Jimmy's hands and use Jimmy to run the point, and I watched Steph set every screen, and Memphis could not figure it out. That would not happen with Thompson and Dillon Brooks.
Holds high stakes for 2 teams that both shook up their rosters by trading their franchise stars this season. Sacramento acquired Zach LaVine, who's averaged just over 22 points, 51% shooting with the Kings, while Anthony Davis played in only 9 games since joining the Mavericks and averaged 20 points and 10 rebounds. Now, the Mavericks, they have been asked continuously to explain the logic behind this shocking trade with Luka Doncic, and they're clearly feeling that heat because yesterday, GM Nico Harrison, he held a closed-door meeting with reporters, no cameras allowed, and he said this: there are no regrets on the trade. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future, and some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it. Now, elsewhere in the course of this conversation, he also emphasized repeatedly the importance of defense. He said, quote, our philosophy, like I said, going forward is defense wins championships, and we're built on defense. And this trade cements us for that. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, is joining us for context in this conversation. But Bob, you spent over a decade in the front office as a general manager with the Golden State Warriors. Did you hold any meetings like this? Well, what did you make of this?
We had problems. We didn't. It wasn't all perfect. And you know, every team's got issues, right? They all do. And especially if you look closely, and we never scrutinize teams more than we do now. But owning an NBA team is a private business. But it's not private. It's public. Stephen A. makes a career out of commenting on how teams are run. And that's fine. Fans show up and boo and cheer. So it's as public of a private business as you can have. So when things are difficult, Malika, you have to face the music, right? So what Nico said, I'm fine with what he said. Again, I've talked about how I feel about the trade. I feel like they didn't leave themselves